Yeah, hello everyone. In the last video, I thought that you are seeing the mirror image, but that was okay. So we'll continue this way. Now this is the second question of your 1.1. Please understand that in word problems you have to always write statements. So please look at what I've written, temperature of the hottest place. Right now just listen and then you can later on pause and write in your notebook exactly in the same manner. Temperature of the hottest place is 22 degrees Celsius, which we just now saw in the book. Temperature of the coldest place is -8. Now you need to find out the difference between the temperatures. So what I've done is, obviously I've taken the bigger number first. Then this minus sign, the minus sign before the bracket pertains to the subtraction because we want the difference. If we wanted the sum, we would have had a plus sign here. So minus of the second number, -8. And then like we solved in the previous in the first video also, 22 minus becomes plus, so 22 plus 8, which becomes 30 degrees Celsius. So the temperature difference is 30 degrees Celsius. Now I hope you know obviously that positive numbers are bigger and negative numbers are smaller, so we are subtracting -8 from 22 because 22 is bigger. If you would have written the opposite, if you would have written -8 minus 22, your answer would have been -30, which would have been wrong. Why? Because your difference in temperature cannot be negative. Difference in temperature has to be positive. कि इन दोनों में 10 degrees का फर्क है या इन दोनों में 5 degrees का फर्क है. So the difference will always be positive in case of temperature. So here we will not write this. We will take because we know which number is bigger. So we will write the bigger number minus the smaller number. So this is your second question. You can note down later in your notebook. Now look at the third question. The third part says, what is the difference between the temperature of Lahore Spiti and Srinagar? So we have written the temperature of Lahore Spiti. Please, I want you to understand this is the way to do. You have to write statements. Temperature of Lahore Spiti is -8. Temperature of Srinagar is -2. Now again, between -8 and -2, which one is bigger? Which one is towards the right of the number line? Any number towards the right is bigger than any number towards the left. So -2 is towards the right. If you recall the number line, your number line is going to be having, this is your 0, then you have -1, -2, so on, so on, so on, -8 somewhere here. So obviously -2 is bigger than -8. So you will first write -2 minus, because again we need the difference of the temperature, -8, and then again minus becomes plus, and this becomes 6 degrees Celsius. So this is your third question. Now if we look at the this was the third part of the same question, first question only. We are doing parts here. This is not question 2, I'm sorry, this is B part and this is C part. Okay, so this was ABC. Now D is can we say temperature of Srinagar and Shimla taken together is less than the temperature at Shimla? What you need to do is you need to add Srinagar and Shimla together and show whether it is less than. So okay, I'll pause and then I'll continue. Yeah, so I have written combined temperature of Srinagar and Shimla because they want it taken together. So combined temperature would be -2 plus 5, which becomes, plus 3, which becomes +3. Why? Because one number is positive, one number is negative. So you will always subtract, I think, you will always subtract the 2 and put the sign of the greater integer. So your so this becomes +3. Now they are saying, is it less than the temperature at Shimla? So temperature at Shimla is, what is the temperature at Shimla? Temperature at Shimla is 5. So is this less than 5? Yes, it is. So 3 is less than 5. So yes, the temperature at Srinagar and Shimla taken together is less than the temperature at Shimla. You will write this line from the question itself. Okay, now the question number 2 is, Read the question from your book. You are given the marks of Jack in successive rounds, and then you have to tell what is the total. Okay, so you are given the marks. Question 2, marks are marks given to Jack. I'll write all of them together, like 25, minus 5, minus 10, 15 and 10. These are the marks that he has been awarded. So total, how do we total the marks? Naturally, you will have to add up all of them. So you will just say 25 plus. Please understand, I cannot write plus minus 5. I cannot write this. Two signs can never come together without a bracket. So we will write the negative numbers in a bracket. So plus minus 10 plus 15 plus 10. If you realize, the positive numbers need not to be in a bracket, but the negative numbers need to be in a bracket, so that there is no, so that two signs are not together. Now when we open the bracket, again from the first video, see the first video that I uploaded is very, very important, because in that I have again recalled all these. And if you, I'm sure your ma'ams must have given you the key points in 6th also, so those have to be on your fingertips always while solving. So if you're not very clear, please go back to the notebook that you had in 6th and see the notes given. How to open the brackets, how to add, how to subtract, that all was the basic, like all of us told you that this is going to be the base of all higher maths. So I cannot repeat that again. You have to go and check in your notebook and you have to recall. So if this particular thing is not clear, then please I would recommend you once again see your 6th book. Okay. So this I'm not going to be explaining now. I'll just straight away write. So now we take the positive numbers together. So 25, 15 and 10. So it becomes 50, and minus 5 minus 10 becomes minus 15. So the total marks are 35. This is how you're going to solve it. Okay. Now if you look at the 4th question, it has figure also drawn. If you just look at the figure, it's here on the side. If you just look at the figure, you can clearly see that the plane is 5,000 meters above and the submarine is 1200 meters below. Even if you don't know integers, even if you don't know anything, I'm sure to find out the total difference, you must add up 5,000 and 1200 so that it gives you the total difference. So even if you don't know integers, then also you should not be subtracting them. Now I'll tell you how we are going to do it using integers, because I hope you remember that anything above the sea level, we told you in 6th, is positive, and anything below the sea level is negative. So here your okay, I'll just again erase it and then come back. Yeah, okay. So now I have done this question in 2 ways. Please try to understand the difference between the two. Both the ways are correct, but I want you to understand both the ways. In the first one, simply height of the plane is 5,000 meters. Depth of the submarine is 1200 meters. Now, please understand that when we say height, it's obviously always positive. When we say depth word means that we are talking of under the ground. So we know that it is minus 1200. We don't need to write minus 1200 because of this word depth. Depth always is under the ground. So I've written 5,000 and 1200. And now simply, if you just look at this to understand the figure given in your book, so you are naturally going to add up the two distances to get the total distance, right? So I have just simply added 6,200 meters. Now I want you to understand this better. That is also fine. If you do it this way, it's also fine, but you need to understand the concept. Now in the second way that I have solved, I have written position of the plane. Now here, when I say position, it doesn't tell me positive or negative. I am here writing positive because obviously it is positive. And position of the submarine is minus 1200, because here I am not mentioning depth or anything. It is just a position. It can be positive or negative. We know it is below the ground, below the sea level. So that is why I have written minus 1200. Now, since we want the distance between them distance between any two points will always be this minus this. I know this is a little, you have to understand it well. Here you would say I have added, here I am subtracting, because here it is just this distance and this distance. Here this is the distance that I am talking about, 5000 and 1200. I am simply adding. Here I am saying, I am talking of the points, I am talking of the position. So position of the plane is positive, position of the submarine is negative. So when I find the distance between them, I am subtracting the two. I am putting a negative sign in between because I want to subtract the two. And then in effect your answer is going to be same, because this minus minus becomes plus. So your answer in both the cases is going to be 6200 meters. Both ways are fine if you want to do, but I still want you to, even if I'm sure this one is easier, but I want you to understand this. Now in this case, if you add here, if you write 5000 plus minus 1200, then naturally your answer will be wrong. This is how children generally do it. They will subtract 1200 from 5000 and end up getting 3800 meters. Now if you visualize, if you just look at the figure given, can the difference between the 2 points be 3800 meters? No, it cannot be, because we are basically adding up. So this is, I've done it in two ways so that you understand. I want you to again and again listen to the video and understand the difference, why I have added in the first way and I have subtracted in the second way. Please try to understand, and then I want to have some views, and then I want to have, if you have a doubt, I want to, you can message me on Campus Care, because I want to feel that you've understood. Okay, so that is the only way now that we can communicate. So please look at this and then let me know whether you've understood or not. We'll continue in the next video. Bye bye, and continue doing your work.